Hello, everybody. My name is Hana, and I work as a Scrum Master already for 5 years. And I'm from Czech Republic, and I work in an IT company. So this presentation is like case study from my company. 8 months ago, one manager from our company came to me and told me, Hana, I'm manager of 40 people, and these people worked on one project, on one product, sorry. And I know that we can do better, but I don't know how. So he proposed me to go there as a Scrum Master, or Agile coach, or you can call how you would like. And I helped them somehow to move further to agility. What I wanted to say is that people always ask me how to convince people to use less. And I always tell them, don't call it anyhow. Like, you know, if you know what you want to do, so just do some work step by step, don't call it anyhow, and don't convince anybody. Because if it makes sense for them, they will adapt it. And Agile transformation needs a lot of time, a lot of steps. And this presentation is about steps I have done so far on this way toward agility and less, let's say. So this is how it looks when I came. It was, as I said, it's 40 people. Currently, we have about 60. And this was the organizational structure somehow. The main problems I saw there was that there were two departments, like desktop one and mobile one, and they had different goals. They totally didn't cooperate together. They were like against each other. The second problem was that product owners wasn't actual product owners. They was more like proxies and worked more as project managers. There were hierarchy, so if manager wanted to say something to team, he passed it through the team leaders, and he didn't know what happens in a team actually. There were component teams. Every team was focused on his piece of the product, but wasn't focused on the whole product as it is and not on the customer. Everything was driven by manager, so he was kind of bottleneck of all changes. And the last problem was that there were a big undone department. It means that we were able to do development and testing in the teams, but we didn't have UI here, UX, data analysis, user research, and such. Infrastructure team also. So this was beginning, and this was my vision. This is something I would like to achieve. So I would like to have two products here, because there is something like product, but it has two brands. So I believe that we can divide it into two products per brand. I would like to see product owners that they work as a real product owners. There is no additional hierarchy. There are Scrum Masters in teams, help them to become more self-organized. And I believe that teams can work like cross-functional and are organized around the product and their feature team. This journey, I can recognize 4 phases, and each of these phases took about 3 months, plus minus. As a Scrum Master, I was focused on 4 areas. First was teams, then a manager, product owners, and the surrounding, because we need to cooperate with teams around, so it was also important to work with them. First phase was focused on understanding of the problem, because I was new there and I, didn't have much information about what's going on there. So first what I did was that I had a one-on-one with teams. I used this framework. This is some questions you can use in your teams. You definitely create environment when people will be very talkative. It's very useful. And I had one-on-one with all these 40 people and created some shared result. I shared it with managers, with the team, with everybody. This is how it looked. It was collected according to topics. So the topics were, for example, products, product vision, internal communication, external communication, problems with management style, and such, releasing, for example. And there were some subtopics which contained the feedback from the teams. Then we created Kanban board for these items, all these issues, to make it visible, a bit transparent about these changes, about how we are going to solve these problems, and everything was communicated very, directly and openly. I set one-on-one with the manager together. From the beginning, it was because I needed to persuade him about a non-hierarchical approach, that we need to, let's say, remove or give team leaders different role or responsibilities than leading team, and use Scrum Masters instead. And we also had regular mentoring sessions, which were focused on Agile and leadership. The intention behind was to move manager from the management role, move more to leadership role. With product owners, I do the same as with the team. I collected problems with them, with the same questions. And also what we did was that we create some, platform where we can discuss together Scrum Masters, because I convinced product manager to have Scrum Masters there. So there were Scrum Masters, product owners, and manager. And we shared together information about the Kanban with the problems and how we would like to solve it. And everything was then spread within the teams. And we told them how we would like to solve it. They were involved in the solutions. And the surrounding, I set also one-on-one with manager, because if you would like to move with body, you need to convince head to want to move with body. And I was afraid that if I have some meeting only with the manager, then he, let's say, agree on some changes, but his manager can avoid it somehow, even unconsciously. So that's why I work with both of them. There were great things that company also realized that there is nonsense to have divided two departments, like two silos within one product. So they merge desktop and mobile departments together. And managers supported by long discussions and such, and company finally decided to merge it together. Second phase was focused on quick wins, and we needed to discover long-term solutions. So within teams, we had a Scrum Masters there, and they started to work with teams to become more self-organized. And we also had retrospectives there, because before there were no retrospectives almost. There were retrospectives, and the team there was able to solve their problems by themselves. We also made clean of all backlogs, because there were a lot of mess, like a huge mess. And the last thing was that we figured out how to properly use Kanban and Scrum boards, because there were none before. And this helped to be more transparent and visualize where are the bottlenecks. So we were able to manage them somehow. With manager, he was from the beginning very focused on solving of easy and quick problems to show that that is worthy if you tell him what's the problem, that he really is willing to change it and solve it somehow. So we needed to show that there is willingness to do this. The second thing was that he started to speak directly to the teams. He has bi-weekly meeting when he always tell teams, all people, information, important information, interesting information, what they should be care about and know about. And also, after some time, there were also guys from support to give guys information about the customer. And also, we would like to add their product owners during this time, or information product owners. This manager was really great because he read all books I recommended to him. He attended all trainings I recommended to attend. So this work with him was really, very peaceful. And the trainings he attended was mainly Agile roadmaps, how to work with OKR, and LeSS. And the LeSS, after that training, it makes very huge difference in his head. I saw this mindset changing. After that, we had 4-hour workshop together, just with both two of us. And we discussed how we would like to see the team work together, according what values, what principles, what let's call it processes, but it's like rules, you know, and stuff like this. And it took really 4 hours to help him to get everything he has in his head, to put it on a paper somehow, some drawings. Within product owners, I convinced them to work non-hierarchically and work as one team, because they had separated boards and such. So they started to work together, communicate together, help each other, have shared boards, and agreed on the same flow within the ideas. If there is new idea within our product, how to manage it, how to validate it and such. And it was like a huge step for us because they were totally divided. And they also attended Agile trainings, and we spoke a lot about the role of the product owner, because their mindset was like, let's say, project manager. It was new for them to create something, some vision, because they used to get it from managers, just deliver it to the teams, some work, you know, tell teams what to do, and then report how it goes. So it was mainly like project manager, and it was quite tough to explain to them and let them grasp that they need to take responsibility for a whole product. And within surroundings, as I said, we had a workshop with the manager. Then we continued together with the product owners and Scrum Masters. We had 2 days outside on a cottage in mountain, and discussed 2 days the way we would like to work. In addition to that, the team vision, we had a product vision, the way how product owners should work, their responsibilities, some flows, and some other stuff around, and also Scrum Masters. And then we had 1 day off-site with whole teams and all undone departments, so with everybody who has something to do with our product. And there we discussed all these things once again with everybody to involve them and ask for their opinion and get their feedback and create it together. And this was something like a mental kick-off for us. Like we all agreed that we would like to work different way, because if we will continue with the old style or the traditional way we did, it means for us that we probably won't be that good on market. So we need to change, and everybody agreed on that. Yeah, and in addition to that, infrastructure team and support team were willing to add to our group, so we are more like cross-functional again. Third phase, this is still in progress. This is not finished yet, but we are almost at the end of it. And the main goal was to start with new experiments, because we agreed on some way of working, but we needed to try if it really works for us, like in practice. So this 3 months was focused on the trying of the new way of working and learn how to do it. So teams were focused on transformation of the role of team members to real team members according to Scrum Guide. So they took over the responsibility for the solutions. Product owner was there for problems, validation of the problems, and teams are there for validation of the solutions. Not just take requirement and do it, but really think about it and validate it somehow in practice. We already have all Scrum ceremonies in team if it's viable for the team. So all of them was adapted by team, step by step, by themselves. Nobody pushed them to have, I don't know, plannings and stand-ups and such. You know, they discovered it helped them. So this was very valuable. And then we realized how to do knowledge sharing, because the low level of the cross-functionality was a big problem for us. There were like a huge bus factor. If some bus will kill somebody, our company is really in big problem. So that's why we needed to create better level of the cross-functionality, and the knowledge sharing process helped us. So we had tribe talks, where our presentations about how teams works, or some technical stuff, or about technologies and such. We also have some exchange program when people from teams can exchange for a sprint or two and can work in other team, help them to learn his stuff and learn their stuff. Sorry. And we started also with discussions about the some agile in the technical agile. So it means extreme programming stuff. Basically, we wanted to have continuous integration in all teams, and also optimization tests, which is like obvious, but it wasn't obvious for us. It was, again, a huge step for us to at least start the discussions about it. With manager, we started to work with OKRs, is the way how to set goals together with teams. So we had workshops with the teams together to create this, and we wanted to use OKRs to create, to use it for roadmaps. So all our roadmaps are connected with the OKRs. It's not like do this and then do this and then do this, but it's like we are here, customers has these problems, this is our goal, and you teams fill the roadmap by things you think that will help to achieve the goals. Then we said also impediment process. Impediments means things which are teams are not able to solve by themselves by retrospectives. There is something which is across all teams, or you need to change some system. Mostly you need a manager involved in that. So we have a new impediment process for the teams, how to add impediment, how to solve it together with manager and such. Also improvement process, it was the same. As I said, manager was the one who was bottleneck because he tried to solve everything. And this is the way how we moved the responsibility to teams and give them some platform how to solve the improvements. So there is again some process, we call it black sheeps, and the idea behind is that people are able to move things by themselves, and then they lead it. It's like, for example, if you would like to have continuous integration in all teams, so teams are able to agree on some solutions, try it together and such, and there is no manager needed for that. But you need to create some platform for it. We improved onboarding process to ensure that new people who come to the team knows where we are right now, where we are going, why we are going there, how we would like to get there, what are our values, principles, and such. You know, it's not like there is newcomer, this is your monitor, and work. We really wanted to have him feel like us, like one of us. And manager was able, because of all these things, was able to have more time to be focused on people's development. So he started to do one-on-one with them, focused on their motivation and the way they would like to grow. Product owners tried to transform to real product owners, and they were more focused on customers, not their platform. They also attended Agile Roadmap workshop with the external consultant, and we tried to figure it out once again, who are our real customers, what are their problem, what is our product, and why. And all these basic things, I know that everybody in all companies, we have like products and we know somehow about our customers, but do you really know? Do you really know them? And it's not that easy as it seems to be. And product owners were totally lost because we had different department for user research, we have different department for sales and such, and they didn't have information. Based on that, they were able to decide. But I wanted from them to be responsible for the product, so they needed to learn it again from the beginning, create it by themselves from the beginning. And they created then Agile Roadmap, which was based on this output and based on OKRs. And we also set new discovery process. It means validation of the hypothesis. So we realized that we need to know product problems of our customers more, and we needed to set tools, product owners' tools to check it. The surroundings. Well, we started to work more closely with the product owner's manager, because once again, if we want product owners to work differently, then we need to definitely buy also his manager. He needs to agree on it with us and need to support it. Manager was successful within another extension of the cross-functionality, so he had UX and data analysis in our teams, and we realized that the manager or the manager to management, they observe us because they realized that there is something happen in our product, there is some movement or changes, and they wanted to know if this experiment works or not. So they are like observing currently and take us as an incubator to see if it works, this agile way, if it works or not. And if so, I hope that they will use it in whole company. And the first phase, as I said, the third is still in process. So the fourth one is like what I expect is going to happen after we finish this third phase. And I believe that based on all these platforms for teams where they are able to take over responsibility and solve their problems by themselves, I believe they become more self-organized. Also, the level of the cross-functionality is higher, and we need to also improve the cross-functionality within the team to know they're just the roles. There's front-end developer and Java developer and I don't know, another developer with different skill set. So my goal is to explain to them that the cross-functionality is about the skills, not about the roles. If we need somebody who will do front-end, for example, we are not going to hire some front-end developer. We learn how to do front-end, for example. I know that is not that easy, but I just wanted to show how I mean it. These teams had or have shared vision and goals thanks to new roadmap, OKRs, and such, and they are more focused on customers. And it means that they are on the way to organize around products, not around the platforms. Because some of them already ask us why we are not organized around the products, because we need to help customer and we need to be more flexible and to move faster, and component teams like avoid it somehow, or it slows down. And I hope also the technical agility will be better. We have we are already working on a continuous improvement, and I believe that continuous integration will be there soon, and also all tests and such. So I hope that it's going to be better and better. Managers, currently we speak about the way we evaluate people and how we decide about their salaries. We would like to give them this responsibility to the teams, because this is something how we can also support self-organizing, and I don't think that it's fair if just manager decide about something if he don't work with you on a daily basis. He doesn't have that much information, and who is louder, he gets money, for example, or who is nicer, or I don't know. So teams should decide somehow. There is more way. It's not like who wants money and decide who get them. There is a lot of frameworks or tools how to decide in the teams, and you don't need to know salaries of the other guys if it is forbidden in your company. So it's just about the mindset. Based on that, I believe that we start step by step, share our experience within the whole company, and influence them to do the same as we do. Product owners are trying to be now more responsible for products than the components. They are moving this way so far. And we would like to add less ceremonies. I don't want to explain less here, because I think that you can find everything on internet. It's very nice described, and it's very simple. It's not like safe, definitely not like safe. Less is much more simple. And basically it means that we will add, let's say, 2 meetings. It's like shared planning, addition to team planning, and shared retrospectives, addition to team retrospectives. That's everything, so it's not that difficult. I believe that product owners will already use all product owner tools that they should know and they should use, and also use design thinking. And finally, will be responsible for our revenue, I hope. Currently, we discuss with sales and marketing how to cooperate more closely, because I don't know if you know it from your experience, but sometimes sales do some business which is totally against like agile way to work, or against the common sense how much time you actually need to deliver something. So that's why we would like to cooperate more closer and get them sit together with us, because you probably don't do some deal if you need to watch 2 colleagues' eyes and tell him, I want to see how you get this. It's really challenging. So yeah, that's why we want to sit together. And hopefully company will start also experiment with LeSS and the OKR. Yeah, so this was our journey. I'm really sorry for my English because I don't use it on a daily basis, but nevertheless, I hope that information from you was somehow useful and you can inspire. Well, what was the message of this presentation is that transformation needs a lot of time, a lot of steps, and you don't need to call it somehow. The worst things you can do is like, here is LeSS, let's implement it, here is Scrum, let's implement it, or SAFe, or I don't know what. And the best way is to do step by step and do what's valuable for you and what's solving your problems. And if you have your own experience with adopting of LeSS or something like this, I would be glad if you share it with me to know how we can move it to a better level according to your experience. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. And now we have time for questions, so if you have any, please ask them. Anyone? It's clear. I think it's clear, so thank you very much. Yeah. Anyway, if you have questions, please reach Hana and ask them directly. Thank you.